Well, you've heard you can't judge a book by its cover. Well, maybe you can't judge a building by its exterior. Case in point, we found a drab building down in Columbia that advertises itself as a motorcycle shop. Well, inside, we discovered a wealth of history about cycles and, well, some interesting characters that make S&G Custom Cycles custom made for a Crossroads story.
Years ago, we'd laugh about it. The old feller, he could lose his new refrigerator, he could lose his car, he could lose his house, but that motorcycle would be the last thing go.
Motorcycles have been in Sam Goodman's family for 3 generations. From his grandfather's Harley shop that opened in 1919 to this. What is this? Well, if you need a custom bike built or a vintage bike restored, S&G Custom Cycles is your place. It's also a virtual museum of motorcycle history, with hundreds of models from all over the world and mostly pre-World War II.
You'll notice a lot of the engineering that went on these things was excellent. I mean, you might look at it and think of an old plow point or something, but by gosh, it was a lot of effort went into this thing to make it. And you think that now we've got the smartest thing there was, and we'll even go back now. A lot of the stuff they got now is stuff that they've used in the past. They've just re-innovated it.
Sam was a Top Fuel drag racing crew chief before devoting full time to the family business. He took me on a tour of the endless collection of antiques that fill his back room, along with customer bikes waiting to be customized like this one.
We took the thing all apart, and then took it apart and bare painted it, and we painted the frame. We did just a little bit of motor work, freshened the motor, but you'll notice the motor's painted, all between the fins and everything, all the little stuff. When this flip-flop paint, and the paint on these things is about $3,000 worth of paint on it.
Wow.
You got a lot of fellers that rode years ago, and they got out of it because of marriages. They got married, and a lot of them had kids. A lot of them had a family to try to raise and stuff, and they had to quit. Okay. Now they're coming back into it. Man. And actually, the machines that's out there now is so much better made. Before, they had just, I remember taking it, you couldn't leave a house without wrenches or baling wire or something to make this thing run. And now you can actually get on the machine and ride them and not have no trouble out of them.
Here in the shop, there are all kinds of projects in the works or waiting for the skilled hands of S&G's craftsmen.
One of them's my cousin, Neil Goodman, and the other's Charlie Penrod. And them boys, they just excellent on what they do. Charlie's a good fabricator on anything. I don't think if you just pulled up with anything, he'd have an idea what to do to make that girl run again. We're going to take this thing completely all apart, down to everything, nuts and bolts and all, and put it back like it came from the factory.
Next stop, the Bear Cave. Now, Bear Henson may look like his nickname in a way, but you quickly learn that this den is the domain of a sensitive artist who applies his talents to everything from portraits to, of course, custom-painted bikes like this one.
The fellow that owns it lives in Rutherford County, and he came to me and sat down and said that he wanted to portray some of the Confederate generals. He told me a little bit about his personal family history, and he's a son of the Confederate veterans and very proud of that heritage and wanted to tastefully display that on the bike.
Back upstairs, customers often come in for a little impromptu bluegrass jam, to share bike tales, and to check the latest old acquisitions like the ones Ronnie Mangrum showed me.
The chopper craze started right after World War II. I guess our veterans been living on the edge fighting the Germans and the Japanese. When they come home, they riding regular motorcycles just didn't seem exciting enough for them. And this is a real rare bird right here. This is a 1934 Brough Superior. A lot of people mispronounce it too. They call it Brogue, but Brough is the proper pronunciation. This is also the bike that Lawrence of Arabia got killed on after he survived all that fighting in the Middle East way back in the early 1900s. And came to England, was riding around on one of these things, and wrecked it and killed him.
It's easy to see why bikers and their families get attached to this shop. It's a fun place. And of course, there's always Belle, the store mascot. However, some customers get so attached they never leave, like Willis Gordon Turbin.
He had a phobia from his childhood about being buried in the ground. He did not want to be buried in the ground. So in 1989, he was diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. So he made a deal with the owner, Sam, and said that if I get myself cremated, can I keep hanging out in the shop? And he still oversees the operation today.
The operation today is no typical biker hangout. In fact, there's nothing typical about this place at all. It's here and open to all curious visitors thanks to the passion that's shared by Sam and all of his staff. It's a passion for the history, technology, and romance of motorcycles. And as long as that passion persists, the shop will persevere.
I don't want to get too big at it, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a smart enough person to keep it all in line. And I'm barely lame to get up and keep things going like I got. I like it like that. I'm simple at it. It's better that way to me. And I'm going to keep it low-keyed and enjoy it, rear back and watch it go if I can. Try to be an old man and watch it go.
But they never had the low-down road down. The Harley Davidson blues. All I can go down, road back to the highway. Harley Davidson blues.
That's one fun place.